Hi everyone, this is Rocket here, and I'm here because something really important just released. The greatest Disney Plus show ever made just got its first trailer. Now I know what you're thinking. Is it Andor? No. Is it She-Hulk? No. Get that garbage out of here, okay? The real best Disney Plus show that's coming out soon is Cars on the Road, starring Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen and Larry the Cable Guy as Tow Mater. The dynamic duo is back, and I could not be more excited. As a leading member of the Cars community, or as I like to call it, the Car community, I have been excited for this project for years, literal years, ever since it was first announced. No, before it was announced, before it was even announced to the public, I was excited for it because I knew this show would happen someday. Subconsciously, in my mind, I knew that it would come. If I ever stutter in this video, it's because I'm not on a script. I am just going off the cuff here. You know, I had to release my feelings on this show because, again, this is just momentous. It's a Cars TV show. Like, this is important, all right? It will be the best Disney Plus show. There is no doubt in my mind. No doubts at all. So I'm going to be doing a frame-by-frame analysis of this trailer so we can glean all of the information that we can from this and really dive deep into what kind of adventures Lightning McQueen and Tow Mater are going to be getting themselves into in this, masterpiece of a show. And just to be frank, I've already watched this trailer. I've watched it multiple times, in fact, because I'm that avid of a fan of this franchise. But I hope with that knowledge, me rewatching it multiple times, I'll be able to give you some guidance through this trailer and help you truly see what this show is shaping up to be and how this is going to revolutionize not just Disney Plus, but the entertainment industry as a whole. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and let's stop right there. You see, there's so much packed into these 2 minutes and 9 seconds of bliss that just the first second already contains so much information. So, in this first shot here, as you can see, Lightning McQueen is driving in the desert, but this is no ordinary desert. I'm sure anyone familiar with this franchise recognizes this location as Radiator Springs. Specifically, this is the dirt track that was in the very first Cars movie, the one that Lightning McQueen and Doc Hudson raced on, and where Lightning McQueen learned the very valuable life lesson, turn right to go left. Such deep and poetic and iconic words. It's cinema, really. So, yes, this trailer opens up with something nostalgic. Everyone remembers Radiator Springs. It's iconic. So, we're starting off somewhere old before we get introduced to the new thing. Just warming you up to it, reminding you why you love Cars so much in the first place. Now, let's keep going. Oh, there was another shot there. So, as you can see, let me scroll back. We have a shot of Lightning McQueen's wheel, and it's spinning because, he's driving. In case you didn't know, wheels spin when you drive. It's really fascinating, actually. If you want to, go outside and look at a car driving by, you will see that these wheels do indeed spin. One interesting thing to note, though, on the corner right here, you can actually see that the Rusty's branding is still on Lightning McQueen. He has not dropped the sponsorship ever since the first movie, which I must say is very, very commendable. If he was a YouTuber, his sponsor would be very happy. So let's keep going. Oh, here we go. Here is our first look at Lightning McQueen's face. As you can see, he's smiling. He looks cool and confident. He's racing on his favorite track, remembering all the good times he had with Doc Hudson. And as you can see, there's a trail of dust behind him. He's going very fast because, speed. He is speed. And also, let's rewind a little bit. We get our first voice clip from Owen Wilson reprising his role. There's his iconic yeah haha. Everyone loves it when Owen Wilson says yeah haha. That's just iconic. So I'm glad to see that Owen Wilson still has it, that he still has that Lightning McQueen voice ready to go for this show. Okay, so there was a line of dialogue there. This is where my first piece of criticism comes in. And I don't mean this to be harsh in any way. This is going to be the best, sorry, my words are messed up right now. Like I told you, I'm unscripted, but Yeah, this line right here is a little problematic, and let me see if I can explain why.
Hey, Mater.
Okay, did you hear that? The inflection on the word "hey mater" does not sound natural. Let me play that again. See if you can notice this.
Hey, Mater.
He says like, "Hey mater." It's pretty obviously spliced dialogue, and this is not the fault of the show. This is the fault of the trailer. Obviously, in the real show, it will not be spliced, and he will have a natural dialogue. But for some reason, the people who edited this trailer decided that they needed to splice together dialogue and ruin these magnificent lines said by Owen Wilson. And I don't know what their intention was. Perhaps this is like an Avengers Endgame kind of thing where they're trying to hide spoilers by cutting certain things out. If so, I totally understand. Hide the spoilers. Let us be able to go into this show and experience it spoiler free. But I don't know. I mean, until the show comes out, we can only guess on these things. And unfortunately, this splicing will happen multiple times in the trailer. I will try to point it out whenever it happens, but this is just the first of many, and it does worry me a little bit, but obviously that's the trailer's fault. The show is going to be amazing.
Hey, Mater. Want a race?
All right, this is Mater's first appearance in the trailer, and Lightning McQueen is asking him if he wants to race. Now, this is an interesting location. I do not think we've ever been here in a Cars film before. It's just a wide open plain with, is that sand or is it snow? They don't seem to be leaving any tracks. That might be ice. I do not know for sure, just some sort of white surface, a bunch of mountains in the background, lots of room to drive, which is why Lightning McQueen probably wants to race here because there's so much room to drive, you know? And as you can see, Mater looks a little hesitant to race.
A race?
Well,
Come on.
But Lightning is, pushing him on because, Lightning, he's a race car. He loves to race, and he wants to race with his best friend, his best buddy Mater. Have some fun, have a good old time. It's good to see this classic character dynamic back on not the big screen, the small screen, or maybe a big screen if if you have a big television.
Come on.
look at you, all charged up to race. But
You see, Mater was doing exactly what I said. Lightning McQueen, he's always charged up to race because it's in his blood or whatever. I don't know if these cars have blood. It's inside of him, I guess. And so I'm really happy that they're staying consistent with the characters. This is their personalities are very well captured here. We're not going off script. This isn't like The Last Jedi where we're just changing everything and changing everyone's personalities. We're staying true to the Cars universe, and that makes me, as a member of the car community, it makes me very happy.
charged up to race. But I don't have a chance against
You see, Mater was using the art of deception here. Most likely something he learned from his days as a super spy, because, as spies, you have to be able to deceive people, trick them, get inside secret areas without anyone noticing. So Mater deploys one of his spy cars by acting like he doesn't think he can win a race, because, Lightning is a race car and he's not. But he was actually just tricking Lightning to get a head start, which is very sneaky on his part, and I'm glad to see that Mater has not forgotten anything he learned as a spy in Cars 2. And then we get a really cool overhead shot here with a trail of dust coming behind Mater as we see this from an overhead angle, really see how much space is in this area. This is a wide open place for them to just drive around and be free. And freedom is one of the core themes of the Cars franchise, to be able to drive wherever you want and just go crazy on the road. And that's why this show is called Cars on the Road. Okay, again, I hate to be so negative, but we're gonna have to do another criticism here. This line also sounds pretty spliced. Let's replay this. Okay, do you hear him say Lightning McQueen? I think the original line is "Come on, Lightning," and they just added a McQueen there at the end, and I don't know why they do that. Well, let's listen to this again. Okay, yeah, you hear that? It definitely sounds like McQueen is in a different take, but I don't know why, because all true Cars fans know when he says lightning, he's referring to Lightning McQueen. So I'm not sure why they felt the need to stitch on a McQueen there at the end. It makes me almost wonder if the people making this trailer weren't confident in the material they're showing, which is very saddening because this show looks, again, to be the best show ever made on Disney Plus, potentially the best show ever made. I don't know for sure. We'll have to, watch the show to figure that out. But it just makes me curious, was there any sort of communication between the trailer editors and the showmakers? Like, was there no communication there? Why did they allow this splicing to happen? I'm not sure. Maybe one day we'll get a behind the scenes on the production of this trailer, and so we'll be able to truly figure out these, hard pressing details. But for now, we will just have to accept this, and even though it's annoying to deal with, we'll just have to put up with it in order to analyze the actual footage being shown. And then we get a Mater scream right there. Everyone loves it when Mater screams. It's always very funny. Let's listen to that again. Never gets old. Now we have from Disney and Pixar. Obviously, Pixar is coming back for this project, which is very good. We have seen the negative results that can happen when Pixar is separated from the Cars franchise. I hate to remind you of this, but Planes and Planes Fire and Rescue do exist. And while, they're not horrible additions to the Cars universe, they obviously lack the quality and care and attention as the other films. So I'm glad Pixar is here back at the handle. And as we've already shown, these characters are very accurate to their original depictions, and that's Pixar's hand in there, ensuring that everything is up to the quality that everyone in the car community expects and frankly deserves. Oh, all right. See, now we're back in Radiator Springs again. Here's Flo's V8 Cafe, an iconic set piece from the first film. Everyone loves this place. Glad to see it's back.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, and there's so you see there's Red, the fire truck in the background. Good to see him in it. I hope he has, some more screen time aside from this little cameo right here. But it's at least good to see he's being included, that he hasn't been forgotten about. Because, as I'm very vocal about my Cars opinions. I make multiple videos a day about the Cars films. Everyone knows that Red is one of my favorite characters. So I'm just glad he's getting a little bit of a spotlight.
Just letting you know I'm gonna be gone.
Oh, and here's the rest of the gang. As you see, we've got basically everyone. We've got, this is everyone. This is the original gang, and it's so good to see them all back. Most likely, they will only be around for the first episode, but that's okay because Lightning McQueen and Mater, they're going on a new adventure. So they got to go to new places. It's unrealistic for them to bring everyone along, but I'm glad they are at least here. They've got a presence. They're going to be given some stuff to do, just out of reverence for the legacy these characters have left behind. And so we old fans can get, a little bit of nostalgia seeing our favorite characters again.
Back east to go to my sister.
Oh, we probably should rewind a little bit. We've kind of been not paying attention to what Mater's actually saying. Let's listen to what Mater says here, because this is pretty big stuff. This actually might be the most crucial information in the entire trailer that Mater's about to say.
Hey, buddy. Just letting you know I'm gonna be gone because I'm heading back east to go to my sister's wedding.
That right there is a bombshell. I cannot overstate how important that line of dialogue is. They just confirmed that Tom Mater, has a sister. As far as I'm aware, and I'm a Cars expert, so I've done my extensive studying. This has never been stated anywhere in the Cars pantheon. None of the films, none of the shorts, none of the extended media. It's never been hinted at the fact that Mater has a sister. We do know that Cars can have family, as shown in Cars 2, when Luigi has, I believe it's his uncle that he goes to visit in Italy, in that iconic scene where they, are dancing around. Lightning is, depressed because Mater left. So that the iconic scene, I'm sure you all know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's confirmed that Cars can have families, but Mater having a family is, that's insane. This is world-shattering stuff right here. And I'm guessing, a lot of people in the comments want to ask, oh, well, how does he have siblings? How are Cars made? Well, that is too big of a question for me to tackle here, but just know I am working on a 4-hour video covering that process, because if you really dig deep into the lore, they explain everything. This is a very well thought out universe with very clear rules. The creators did not just overlook that fact. They had it in mind. So be on the lookout for that 4-hour video. That's definitely going to be coming at some point. Definitely.
Wait a minute. You have a sister?
See, okay, here, Lightning is just as surprised as we are as the viewers. In this scene, Lightning represents the audience, shocked by this information as well. And you wonder if this is going to create any conflict, if Lightning is going to feel betrayed that Mater has held this pivotal information from him for so long. Like, they're best buddies, and he would just not tell him he has a sister? That is a good point for drama, I think. And it could really, you know, this would be a good way to really dive into the relationship between these two characters and actually analyze if there is strong trust between them or if they need to work something out. And okay, here's another criticism. I hate being negative on a Cars video, but unfortunately there is more splicing going on. But this is a different kind of splicing. Watch this footage and you can probably figure out what's wrong.
Wait a minute. You have a sister?
Okay. Lightning's mouth and what he's saying are not synced up. Just look at this again.
You have a sister?
That was not timed right. Like, just look at this.
You have a sister?
Like, he says the word have and his mouth just does nothing.
You have a sister?
Like, yeah, he says have and his mouth does not move. In case you aren't aware, that's not how mouths work. Whenever you say a word, your mouth has to move. Which makes me think that in this scene, Lightning is saying something completely different, but they've just added audio on top of it. Again, I don't know why. This might be an Avengers Endgame thing where they're trying to hide spoilers. Maybe what Lightning is saying right here is very, very spoiler heavy, so they are trying to hide it from us. And if so, I totally respect that, but that is something we'll just have to figure out when the show actually drops. So, I don't know. For now, I'm going to label it as, you know, a criticism, but maybe I'll come back and make a retrospective video to this analysis, you know, pointing out all the flaws I made in this trailer analysis and showing how, you know, like, you know, the Cars team, they had it all under control the whole time.
Sister?
There's Ramon right there, you know, he's showing off his stretchy legs, you know, his iconic stretchy legs, how he can, you know, lift himself into the air, and he's got a cool new paint job there. He's red, and there's our purple and yellow stripes. It's very cool. I'm glad we have a new Ramon look.
Boggles the mind, man.
Okay, and then right here we have Fillmore. He actually gets a few lines, or I guess one line. Really good to see him back. You know, he's a fan favorite character, and if you've seen my videos, you know he's also one of my favorite characters in the show. So I'm glad he gets a chance to shine here.
Boggles the mind, man.
Must be
Oh, and here's Sally.
ages since you've seen her.
What if
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the original Sally voice actress, so I'm glad they brought her back. Again, even though she'll probably just be in the first episode, I'm glad that they're bringing back all the old voice actors. Not just Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy, although, you know, they are the heart and soul of this franchise, so obviously they needed to come back. But just other characters too, to really make this feel more like a unified Cars product.
Must be ages since you've seen her.
What if I go with you?
Really?
Let's make it a road trip.
All right, and here is the central premise of the whole show. Lightning, you know, offering to go with his friend because, you know, they're buddies, they stick together. And also, you know, like I said earlier, how Lightning seemed, you know, shocked that he had a sister. Perhaps there is some mistrust going on here. And Lightning is going to perhaps call out his bluff, like prove that he doesn't actually have a sister. Again, perhaps this is a spoiler thing, but perhaps Lightning suspects that Mater's lying, so he's going to actually figure out if the sister exists or not. This is purely speculation, but that might be the underlying drama going on in this entire show. But obviously, the main plot of the show is the road trip, and that's what Lightning pitches here.
What if I go with you?
Really?
Let's make it a road trip.
So yeah, see, now we are on the road. You know, as the title suggests, this is Cars on the road, and so this is probably the most symbolic shot in the entire trailer because, you know, the title is Cars on the Road, and here we are, Cars on the Road. This is the money shot. This is the title. I would not be shocked if in the actual show, during this shot right here, the logo appears because it's just so symbolic. Like, it perfectly represents what this show is about. And before we continue, I need to drink some water because, you know, talking about cars, it drains me after a while because I have so much to say. That was some good water, let me tell you. That maybe some of the best water I've ever had. I mean, like, you know, it's water blessed by the Cars on the Road trailer, so it's pretty good. All right, so let's continue on.
There's thousands of things to see.
Okay, this is another example where Mater is saying something and it's not synced up with the audio. Just watch this again.
There's thousands of things.
It's not synced up. Again, might be for spoilers. I don't know for sure. But let's dissect this montage because they show a lot of stuff very quickly. First off, we have some clouds here, and they're making a shape. It appears to be a monster truck, which later in the trailer, spoilers for later in this trailer, but there is a monster truck, so I would not be surprised if this shot in particular appears in the episode with the monster truck. Oh, excuse me. And then what's next? We have the world's largest lug nut. You see, this seems to be a parody of, tourist traps. Kind of like, in Gravity Falls, you have the Mystery Shack. And also, there is an episode in Gravity Falls called Roadside Attraction, where they go and tour various roadside attractions, kind of like this one right here. So they might, go in a bit of a parody aspect there with this lug nut. Stuff like that, where they go find, silly, kind of obscure, touristy things. There's their character dynamic where Mater is super impressed by them, while Lightning's more just kind of confused. The classic character dynamic. There could be some fun comedy shenanigans going on with that. Okay, here we have what appears to be the... I believe this might be a speech by the President of the United States, and I am unsure whether this tow truck right here is Mater in a blue paint job or another tow truck that is blue. We do know that Mater has the ability to disguise himself, as shown in Cars 2 when he turns into a taco truck, which is a hilarious scene. Still one of my top 10 funniest things of all time. So I do not necessarily know what the context is here, but it appears that this is a filming studio, and perhaps Mater is getting filmed for something, or this president character is getting filmed to, give a speech to the American people. Whatever it is, I'm sure it will be very important to the plot and, have huge ramifications for the Cars universe. I'm excited to see how government is portrayed in the Cars world. There could be some really serious and important commentary going on here. I'm excited to see what the team has cooking up. Oh, this is a very quick shot. Like, you barely have time to see this. If you look here, this appears to be either stop motion or some other animation style, because these Mater and Lightning McQueen models are not CGI. This looks very handmade, including the dinosaur car, which we'll get to the dinosaurs in a minute. They will appear later in the trailer. But this appears to be a different animation style, and it's only shown for a few frames. But if so, I'm excited because we've only ever seen the Cars portrayed in a CGI setting, aside from some 2D credits. So I'll be very interested to see how they portray these characters in different animation forms. And I think it's cool that they're allowing this team to experiment a little bit with the visual presentation. Maybe these more rustic models will, symbolize something within the narrative, and they can use it for great effect. So I will be excited to see these new animation styles and how they present the characters. And we'll get to the Dinobot later on, but just note, this is the first appearance of him. Oh, and here's another close-up shot of him, actually. We can go ahead and talk about him now. There are dinosaur cars in this show, which I think is a really cool piece of world building. I think everyone's always wondered, what was the Cars universe like in the prehistoric era? Well, here's your answer. There were dinosaur cars, which I think was pretty obvious. That is what I have been personally theorizing for many, many years. But to see my theory confirmed in a show like this is very heartwarming, and it proves that, I'm right about everything in the Cars lore. So take that.
It's just the tiniest little taste of death.
And you see, here's a funny little joke here. Lightning McQueen's making fun of the fact that, on this road trip, they're going to get into a few dangerous situations because, that's the nature of the show. Mater and Lightning McQueen always finding themselves in some dangerous scenario. So they're just kind of, poking fun at that. At this point, they've become self-aware enough to realize that they're always in a dangerous situation. So Lightning's just kind of poking fun at it, right after the shot with the dinosaur. That's some comedic timing from the trailer itself. Again, I've given this trailer a lot of harsh criticism, but this is a very, very funny edit, and I'm sure within the show itself, this is also a very funny moment. So let's continue.
It's just the tiniest little taste of death.
Oh, actually, one more thing before we move on. This appears to be the exact same space that they were on earlier for the race, the same white void, and we will see the white void later. So I believe that the shot at the beginning with them racing around that white plane is probably not in the first episode. It's probably in a later episode when they go visit this place on their road trip.
To death.
Okay, this is a crazy shot right here. This is a dark hallway in a mansion. There's some green light emanating from what appears to be some sort of ghost car with some, green smoke. Very, very spooky flare here. And then here's a shot of the car wheel, a very old-timey wheel. And then, we zoom in on their lips, and they're very, very scary lips right there. This might... I do not know for sure. This may be Mater dressed up because their features in their build do resemble Mater. I don't know for sure. Again, this might be him in a disguise again, but this is either some sort of ghost character or perhaps Mater in a disguise. There will be ghosts later in the trailer, so that does confirm there are ghosts in the Cars universe, which again, I've been theorizing for years, but this is either a ghost or just Mater in a disguise.
To death.
Okay. Another weird trailer edit here. I know I just complimented the trailer. I'm gonna have to criticize it again. They insert a evil laugh here, but the lips are not doing a laugh motion. A laugh, the mouth should be kind of open, like ha ha ha. But instead, it's just going like nom 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 nom. That's not how mouths work. I think whoever edited this trailer might need to go to a mouth school and figure out how mouths work.
Oh, dear mother.
There's a good old... Oh, wait, I think I just clicked the volume button instead of the skip button. My apologies. There was a classic Mater one-liner, giving him an old country saying.
Oh, dear mother.
Reacting to the whole ghost thing, which makes me think that this is not Mater because, I feel like Mater would not react to himself like that. So that makes me think this is a ghost character that Lightning and Mater will have to confront on their journey. And also, while we're on this shot, they appear to be in some sort of gift shop right here. There's a painting on the wall. There's some stuff on that shelf. This appears to be, a touristy kind of gift shop where they can, buy some souvenirs from whatever location they're at. I don't see anything here specific enough to tell, but there is some forest in the background, so perhaps this is connected to the very first shot of them traveling in the trailer when they were, on the road. I would not be surprised if this place is linked to this place that they're in where he says, this funny line.
Oh, dear mother.
Lightning, Lightning McQueen. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is why everyone knows who Lightning McQueen is. They only need to put the word lightning. So it just still confuses me why earlier in the trailer they edited on that McQueen. It was not necessary. See, I still don't understand that because it's shown later in the trailer that they know people recognize the word lightning as Lightning McQueen. It just makes me wonder if the team was just lacking in confidence, which they shouldn't be lacking in confidence because they're making a trailer for, the greatest Disney Plus show ever made. So I am just confused in that regard.
I'm guessing this is...
Okay, here's another shot of Lightning McQueen driving in Radiator Springs. I'm guessing if you stitch this all together, this looks like him going onto the wide curve. And then if you remember at the beginning of the trailer, there is the shot with him going on the wide... Hang on, I need to skip. This shot right here, I would not be surprised if in the show, this shot comes directly after... let's scroll back to it. Directly after this shot. They may have just reversed the order when they showed those images in. I'm assuming this will be in the first episode because I'm guessing, they start in Radiator Springs and then they head out on their road trip.
Guessing this is the beat.
All right, here's another shot of that woods from earlier. This looks like, the cars on the road. This scene from in the... Let me go back to it. Sorry, I got to scroll through. It looks like this place. I would not be shocked if, this shot is directly connected to it in some way. No, let's get back to this again.
I'm guessing this is the...
So we have that shot, and then next...
beginning of something great.
Okay, this shot right here, this is a very visually interesting shot. A lot of very... I believe these are semi-trucks, or I forget... Semi-haulers, that's their name. Semi-haulers, they appear to be carrying a lot of stuff. I think that might be oil tanks down a hill, and their headlights illuminating in the night is a very cool visual. All these lights just going every single direction. It's very visually pleasing, and I'm glad they're experimenting with visuals like this in the Cars series. And yeah, it's just a cool looking shot, and we'll see some more semi-haulers later on in the trailer as well.
Great.
You got...
All right, so here's Mater and Lightning McQueen. As you see in the back, there is Cobalt Spare Parts, buy, sell, trade, and a phone number right there. Maybe I'll call that phone number at some point just to see what it is. Maybe it's a funny Pixar reference, or maybe it's an actual store. Who knows? I wouldn't advise for you to call it. That's something only a car community member like me is really qualified to do. So you don't call it. Don't worry. I'll handle it. Obviously, I will definitely call it at some point. This may be actually. It looks about the same as this place. So perhaps this might be the store, Cobalt Spare Parts. This might be the inside of it, or perhaps they are two stores just like in the same general area. And let's go back. I think someone was saying something here and I kind of skipped out on it.
Your mother. I'm guessing this is the beginning of something great.
All right, Lightning, he's optimistic about the trip. He thinks they're going to have a good old time. And, Mater's the same way. Like, they're buddies. Like, they think they're going to have some fun together.
Got that right.
And you see, Mater agrees with them. Mater thinks it's also going to be fun. Like, they're on the same page here. Although they have different outlooks on life, they both have the same ultimate end goal. And that's what makes their relationship so compelling within these films. All right, and here's the title for Mater, just like with Lightning McQueen. Oh, here's Mater doing some donuts. It reminds me of Tokyo Mater, the Mater Tall Tale, where they did donuts in the donut shop. Perhaps this is a reference to that short film. I can't say for sure. If it is, that would be great, because Tokyo Mater, an underrated classic in the Cars franchise. And here's him spinning some more. He appears to be in front of a very fancy building right there. I don't know what that is, but yeah, a very nice establishment. Perhaps this is the mansion that the ghost is from earlier in the trailer. Perhaps like that is them at the daytime, and then at nighttime it becomes this creepy ghost infected place. That's just my working theory. All right, here's the text: back on the road. Referencing the title of the show, that they are back on the road, because they've been on roads in previous incarnations of the franchise, but now the road is front and center. It's no longer just a background detail.
We wonder.
Here's a shot of some grass, and it looks like a cornfield possibly.
We wonder
And there's a circus in the distance. Perhaps these shots are connected from the beginning of the trailer. Let's go back. I need to analyze. This doesn't look like a cornfield. This is just a generic grass area. So the cornfield may be in the same episode, or this may be a completely different location for a different episode. I'm not sure, but this does confirm that they will go to a circus at some point. And then, okay, right here, this is a very quick shot, only a few frames. Circus Velocitas. I hope I'm saying that right, but we have a name for the circus confirmed, and you can tell Mater and Lightning McQueen are driving into it, so it's a confirmed location for the show to take place in. And then we have a quick shot right here of Lightning McQueen, who appears to be driving down a ramp. I don't know why he'd be on a ramp. Perhaps he and Mater actually join the circus and do some acts in it, or maybe it's a Madagascar 3 situation where they take ownership of it. I would actually love to see some Madagascar 3 inspirations, because Madagascar 3 is a very underrated film, and I do think Cars paying tribute to that film would be very nice. So yeah, that's my working theory, that perhaps Lightning is in it. There is a cannon behind him, so perhaps Lightning is going to get shot out of a cannon. That could happen. Crazier things have happened in this universe. I'd be interested to see it.
This is so cool.
All right, here's a quick shot of some, frankly unsettling circus cars. Perhaps that is what they're going for, but that lipstick, it reminds me of the Joker, actually. These might be Joker cars. Putting the Joker in the Cars universe would be a very bold, creative move. I would love to see the direction they take it. Perhaps make some comments on society or their car society. I don't know if it's a car society or a car society. I do not know how they describe it. They've never really talked much about society within the Cars films, but I would love to see, their take on the Joker as a character. I would be intrigued to see it. For nine all-new adventures. So this confirms there are 9 episodes of this show. I believe they are all going to be 22 minutes each. Perhaps they are shorter, perhaps they're 11 minutes. I do not know. I have not seen any confirmation of this, but that does at least confirm that there will be 9 self-contained stories, which is very, very good information. I'm glad they're giving this a pretty decently length run. I know a lot of Marvel and Star Wars shows, they've been cutting short of like 6 episodes, but 6 episodes wouldn't really be enough to tell a complete Cars story, because this Cars universe is so brimming with stories and plots and characters. You couldn't really contain it within 6 episodes, so I'm glad they gave him an extra 3 to really bring out, the drama and the story potential.
Make new friends.
Okay, Here are the semi-haulers. These may be the same semi-haulers from that one shot we saw earlier in the trailer. And let me see if I can scroll back and find it. No, I forgot where it is. But you remember, the one that with the really cool lights in the nighttime? These might be the same semi-haulers. And as you can see, they seem to be giving Mater some sort of grand welcoming with a bunch of cool flashing lights. That's very nice, truck to truck. They're all, respecting each other.
New friends.
All right, Mater just said making new friends, so I'm assuming that means that these semi-haulers are going to become his friends.
Cool. Make new friends.
Yes. All right, and here's the first appearance of the monster truck. I think I showed you earlier that a monster truck cloud in the sky. I do believe that that might be a reference to this character who shows up later in the show. So let's hear what she has to say.
Where are you guys headed?
All right, she asks him where they're heading, so she's going to join them on their trip. And you see Lightning and Mater, they're sharing like a smile, so they're receptive to someone joining them on their quest. Obviously they're best buddies and they're going on their trip together, but that does not mean they're blocking out anyone else. They're very welcoming people. They like meeting new people, like Mater said in this last shot. They're on the road trip, they're going to see his sister, but also they want to meet some new people because that's what a road trip's all about.
Where are you guys headed?
Only on Disney Plus. Like I said, this is going to be the greatest show ever on Disney Plus. If you do not have a Disney Plus subscription, you don't need one yet. But when the show comes out, you probably should get one because again, this is what Disney Plus was made for. The whole subscription service has been building to the release of this show. Stuff like The Mandalorian and High School Musical, the series, it's all been filler. It's been filler until they could finish this show and get it out to the public, which I kind of wish they just waited to release the service once the show was ready, but also I understand, Disney they're in desperate times right now. They're losing so much money. They're about to go bankrupt. They haven't had a hit in quite a while, so I understand needing to get some income in so they can fully fund this show to make it what they were seeking to make it, fully fund the complete vision of this product. So I do understand why they had to do this. So hopefully once this releases, Disney will be able to become a profitable company again, reclaim the title that they've lost over these few years since they haven't released any Cars media in a while. The lack of Cars content has really hurt Disney as a company, and I think that kind of shows. No one's talking about Disney anymore except with this show. Everyone's talking about Cars again, and by extension Disney Plus again, so this is good for the company as a whole. All right, here's another shot. This appears to be that, the same generic road with trees on the side. We see a car there. He looks kind of distracted. He should probably keep his eyes on the road or else he might crash into something. Perhaps this show will have something to say about unsafe driving. That'd be very good because, there's a lot of unsafe drivers out there who don't pay attention while they're driving. Perhaps do like a metaphor for texting and driving at the same time. This generation could really use something like that from the Cars world.
Gotta rinse off this old baggage.
Okay, and I see here we have a shot of the Lightning McQueen and Mater following this monster truck, and she says that she needs to rinse herself off because obviously she's pretty dirty. She's got moss everywhere. And then we have some comedy here with, some of the moss hitting Mater in the eyes. This classic Mater comedy, it reminds me of the pistachio ice cream gag from Cars 2, where like he eats the green stuff and then he has to rinse himself off or rinse his tongue off in the fountain. It reminds me of that. It's a callback to a classic Cars gag. And Lightning McQueen looks a little disgusted here because, just like how he reacted in the Cars 2 when he was a little disgusted by Mater's behavior. But at the end of the day, they are still friends regardless of whatever slip-ups Mater has. Oh, see, here is the monster truck. She's now been cleaned off, and as you see here, we have a shot of, there's a shot of her wheels. You can see they're very shiny, and then a shot of her headlights. The very good shine effects here. I am impressed with how far Pixar's come within the realm of a shine animation. They've gotten really good at making things shine. 20 years ago CGI didn't really shine at all, but look at it now. Now it's very shiny. So Pixar has been leading the way in shine technology. I read an entire book they wrote about just getting shine effects on all their movies. They spent half their budget on this effect probably, so good on Pixar for really ensuring that their characters shine.
Oh, look at you!
We get a very long look at this monster truck compared to most of the stuff in the trailer. I'm not sure why they decided to spend so much time focusing on this. Perhaps there is some sort of hidden code. I do notice upon rewatch that each of her headlights are flickering as you go through. I'm going through slow so you can see it. Each of them light up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perhaps that is some sort of message. I am not very good in stuff like Morse code, so someone else in the community will need to dissect that for me and, tell me if that's like some sort of hidden code, because I can't think of any other reason why they would linger on this shot in particular so long. Perhaps it means something, but either way, this monster truck is definitely going to get a major role in whatever episode she's in. She will most likely just be a one episode character, or maybe a few episodes, but it'll be interesting to see what role she plays. Adding a monster truck to the dynamic could make things interesting.
What about me?
Can't mess with perfection.
And you see, here's another classic gag. Like Mater, let's rewind a little bit here. Mater doing a little pose. Sorry, there's so much rewind here. See, look at him. See Mater, he's shaking his butt. He's trying to look impressive. He's trying to look cool. He's trying to impress his friend. And, Lightning's being encouraging.
Can't mess with perfection.
Yeah, even if Mater can sometimes be oblivious, Lightning is still kind to him and always, willing to roll with whatever silliness he has up his sleeve. So it's a great reinforcement of their dynamic, and I'm glad to see here for seeing some classic Cars comedy.
Perfection.
This September, the show releases in September. That's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, okay. This shot right here is very important, but before we do, I'm going to drink some more water because, like I said, talking about cars, wears down your throat sometimes. I just have so much to say. Oh man, that water was even better than the last sip of water I had. I didn't know it was possible, but it's even better, honestly. As this trailer gets better, my water also gets better. It's really cool. Cars, it's like magic. So this shot right here, very important. We have the semi-haulers are back, and as you can see here, they're circling Mater, but then even more start to circle them. And oh wait, let's not get to that shot yet. This makes me think, and if you remember earlier, the semi-trucks, they were circling Mater here, but they also had that one shot earlier where they, let me see, I need to rewind and I need to show you the shot specifically.
I'm guessing this is the beginning of something great.
You got
It's
that
right here. Is it right here? I don't know, actually.
Wander the back road.
Where is it? Where's the shot? It's very, oh, okay, here it is. With all these lights and stuff, and the way they're moving their lips, I think that the semi-haulers are going to have a musical number. This is my biggest theory, and I think I might be correct on this. Every single time we see them, they seem to be doing some sort of, rhythmic dancing movement with like a lot of lights. I think the semi-haulers are going to be singing a musical number for Tow Mater. And if so, I'm very excited because we haven't really had a musical number in the Cars universe before. I think the closest we have is, the short film Rock and Roll Mater, where Mater sings his iconic song, Dad Gum. But we haven't really had any other music besides that. And I would really be interested to see how they handle music in the Cars universe. What do Cars consider rhythm? How do they write melodies? It'll all be very interesting to analyze, because obviously these movies have had soundtracks, but that's non-diegetic. That's just playing for the audience. The Cars themselves do not hear when Real Gone plays at the beginning of the movie. It'll be interesting to see how Cars, write melodies and stuff. And so that's my big theory. I think the semi-haulers are going to have a musical number. Hopefully when the show comes out, my theory is confirmed because, like I said, I am right about everything when it comes to Cars. I've never been wrong, ever, at all, because I've made many theories about the subject. Let's return to this September. Yes, that's right. That's where we were. So, yes, we have the... Okay. This shot right here. This is interesting. As you can see here, we have what appears to be a zombie car with a huge brain. And then this black car here karate chopping him. And also the other zombie car. This reminds me of Finn McMissile in Cars 2. When he was, using his karate moves to fight all the people in the streets of Tokyo. The streets of Tokyo. I'm sorry. I don't know if I said that wrong. I can't remember what I said a minute ago. But yeah, this reminds me of Finn McMissile. So it makes me wonder if either A, this might be like a TV show because it looks like the set in the back is kind of like, fake. This might be either a live show or a TV show that they watch, Or this is a return to the Cars 2 spy world, and perhaps this guy is a spy who is either, Finn McMissile's, I guess, trainer or perhaps a trainee. Maybe they're linked somehow. I would love to see some connections to Cars 2 because unfortunately Cars 3 ditched a lot of the Cars 2 connections, which was rather disappointing upon first rewatch because I believe that Cars 2 adds a lot to the franchise. But on the other hand, I understand why they did it. They wanted to appeal to the fans of the first film, bring them back because Cars 2 was rather divisive among the car community. I am personally in favor of it, but I understand how they were trying to appeal to the fans of the first film that was universally loved. So I hope that this is a Cars 2 connection in some way, but this may be as simple as like a TV show they watch.
My little eye.
Okay, this shot's crazy. This begins the, what I'll call the Mad Max stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here that looks kind of apocalyptic, like a desert gang, which evokes the imagery of the Mad Max franchise, which makes sense because, this is a universe inhabited by cars, and, apocalyptic cars are very essential to the Mad Max world. It's, very key imagery in those films. So Cars paying tribute to that would not be crazy. I actually think that makes a lot of sense, and I would love to see, how they tackle the concepts of the Mad Max franchise in a world inhabited by cars. I think there's a lot of potential there, and I'm excited to see them explore it. And we have this giant cone structure here. This looks so cool. Like, look at this, like taking the imagery from the first Cars movie, like the cone, the cone motel that Sally runs, flipping it on its head. Literally, it's an upside down cone in the middle of the desert. It's evoking the imagery from the first movie, but reinventing it in a new way that says something entirely different. It's very fascinating. And the fire, around it gives it really cool lighting.
Too quackity kitty.
Oh, see, now we have a shot of Mater and Lightning McQueen. They're turning around, and now we get a shot of what appears to be perhaps a goon in this Mad Max gang. If you look around here, you see that there's a bunch of old beaten down cars. I don't think these are lemons from the Cars 2 film. They seem to just be like apocalyptic cars. Like they got a bunch of spikes on their head, very sharp, very beat down and rusty. Like it looks like they've been in the desert and that they've been, preparing for the apocalypse.
Spy with my little eye. Two quackity kitty cars.
Okay, they say right there, I spy with my little eye, 2 quackity kitty cars. He's like, you guys don't belong here out in the wild like us. I'm guessing this means Lightning and Mater probably get lost at some point, and then they end up in this desert and are probably either captured or join this Mad Max gang.
Cars.
And this appears to be, their ruler, because obviously there's a huge fire explosion behind them, and they have what appears to be a crown. I would not be surprised if this was the leader of the Mad Max gang, and also they're sitting on top of 2 other cars who appear to be in pain, but they're willing to serve their master. So this is probably the leader of the Mad Max gang that Lightning and Mater will have to confront at some point. Oh, and here's appears to be they are driving around first they're revving up their engines, and now they're driving around fire, perhaps some sort of ritual maybe, or some sort of celebration event they do, but we're still, in the Mad Max world. They're all very happy. You see this car right here, he's got his tongue out while he's doing it. They're obviously enjoying themselves. And then here we have a very cool contraption. Here's a semi-hauler, and he has this large drum contraption, and then there are forklifts strapped to this contraption from above who are going up and down like a bungee cord, playing these drums. This is fascinating. This is one of the coolest pieces of tech that we've ever seen in the Cars universe. And it's out here in this rustic Mad Max area. It's so cool that they were able to develop something like this. And it looks like there's speakers on it too, so maybe the speakers are either there to amplify the drums or perhaps, play some sort of other music. Perhaps this music plays as they do this fire dancing ritual. Perhaps it's a dance plus a song. And maybe there's 2 songs in this show. Maybe the semi-haulers sing a song and then the Mad Max crew also sing a song. That would be incredible to see. I'd love to see more music out of this franchise. So again, very cool. Props to the designers and the people who made this model. Looks really cool, and they're using the car technology very well.
Points for pageantry.
All right, even there, Lightning McQueen, I think, is complimenting their machine. He also, it appears that, there's the same ice cream truck from earlier in the first shot. This looks like it's Lightning McQueen and Mater being taken to the leader of the Mad Max group by these, goons. That's probably the order of events here. And what happens to these two? I don't know. I'm guessing that's a spoiler, and they'll reveal in this show what happens to Lightning and Mater when they run into this Mad Max group.
Pageantry.
Oh, here's Lightning and Mater drifting onto the road. Either they're maybe trying to escape from somewhere, or they're just like, getting ready to go. Like, they're very excited for their road trip. And here's a bug. As you can see, I believe there's consistency here. That is a car bug, just like in the first Cars movie where the bugs are cars. So again, good on Pixar for being consistent. These are the kind of details that as a member of the car community, I love to see. I love to see these things, come back, referencing old films, keeping the continuity straight. And as you can see, this bug lands on his eyes and he panics. And he panics a bit because, there's a bug on his eye. And obviously I would also hate it if there was a bug on my eye. It's literally on his eye. Now, he does say bug on his eye. That makes me wonder, do cars consider this one eye, or do they consider it two eyes? Because it reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog and the fact where, like, these got two eyeballs, but it's just one piece of white. So it's technically only one eyeball. I mean, one eye with two eyeballs in it. So I don't know. I don't know if they've ever addressed this within a Cars film before, but perhaps this is actually a piece of lore here. Mater shouting this might be the confirmation that it is indeed one eye with two eyeballs. Yeah, no, I think they were subtly dropping lore here. They were framing this as a joke, but it was actually an important piece of lore that people in the car community like me can pick up on. They're just subtly revealing information to us, and I think that's great. Make a show that's approachable by everyone, but if you really are immersed in this world, you can pick up on small details like this and gain even more from watching the show. I think it's fantastic that the Cars crew is able to appeal to all the markets like this. Okay, I believe this might be more of the musical number. As you can see, there's like flashing lights everywhere. There's a bunch of cars. It looks like there's a truck there, but I don't know if these are all trucks. It looks like they're all trucks. Oh wait, and there's a Pizza Planet truck right there too. You see? Right there, the yellow car. That's the Pizza Planet truck. You see the little rocket on top of him. That's great. I love that Pixar is continuing with that, Bring back all the classic Easter eggs. That's great. And speaking of Easter eggs, with the semi-trucks, that might be, not semi-trucks, semi-haulers. That might be a chance for Mac to come back. Mac voiced by John Ratzenberger. And everyone knows John Ratzenberger. He's cameoed in almost every Pixar film. They haven't brought him back as much anymore, which is very sad to see. But, maybe Mac will come back for this semi-hauler scene. And you see, the semi-haulers are right here too, and it looks like they are still singing. And then this is one of my favorite shots in the trailer. Mater gets sucked through the floor and appears to go to some distant alternate reality where everything's like traced over in 2D. Like you see in the back, there's still the semi-haulers, but they're totally traced over in this like neon blue light. And then Mater's still a 3D model, but he's like traced by a 2D line. Traced by 2D lines. Almost reminds me of like Spider-Verse with the visuals. This is really cool to see. Again, more visual experimentation from the Cars franchise, which I am fully here for. This reminds me of like those like the physical models we saw earlier with the Dinobot. Like, this is cool. I love that they're experimenting with this, and I can't wait to see how they use these new visuals to tell a story. I just want to again highlight. Let's play this in full motion because I've just been like skipping through it. So like in full motion, that shot looks so cool, man. Like this is such a cool shot. I cannot wait to see this in the full show. And again, it looks like they're all singing. This adds to my theory that it's like a music number, but like by the end of the song, there might be some like cool visuals with it. I really hope it's a musical number because if so, this might be like one of the top 10 best scenes in the entire Cars franchise.
This is not what I...
Oh, and back to Mad Max stuff. Here, Lightning McQueen and Mater, I cannot tell if they are running away or if they are part of the Mad Max crew. Because if you look here, they are all decked out in Mad Max gear now. So they've either joined the apocalyptic band or are disguising themselves to fit in. And there's also the ruler. You see right there. There's their ruler, and there's their crown. There's like, they're riding on top of cars like they were earlier. So I do think they might actually be part of the gang here. And you can see some cool stuff. One of them's got a flamethrower, one of them's got a saw. Very cool stuff here. Again, I love how they are bringing the Mad Max style into the Cars universe. Very cool to see.
Not what I expected.
Oh, whoa. See, they have a taser here. It only appears for a few frames. It looks like they may be going to war, because if you look, these cars, they all have solar panels on top of their heads, and they all look a bit more modern. So perhaps there's a war going on between, like, the gas cars and the electric cars, or I guess the solar-powered cars. Because there's, I was saying electric because, like, there's electricity here, battery-powered. And if so, that'd be interesting, like, taking this conflict that's happening in the real world and presenting it in the Cars universe. Like, should we have gas cars or electric cars? Like, they might visualize that battle with actual cars. That would be cool to see. I can't wait to see the storytelling they have here.
I expected.
Oh, and here there's like a saw going through this fence. Very sharp, like it's immediate, like a boom. It's like a jump scare. Very cool to see the Cars franchise delving into some horror. Other spikes. Okay, so here's more of Lightning McQueen and Mater in their Mad Max get-up. They appear to be on some sort of track, having to dodge obstacles. Perhaps this is some sort of like a initiation challenge, like to join their Apocalypse gang. Join the Apocalypse gang. They have to complete this sort of challenge. That would be interesting to see. I'd love to see Lightning McQueen and Mater go on this, like, apocalyptic obstacle course. That'd be a cool visual, like a cool set piece. Okay, this is interesting. This goes back to the very beginning of the trailer, this white void. It looks like Mater is becoming like a rocket, which kind of reminds me of the short film Air Mater, where he becomes a plane. But now he's got like rocket boosters on him. It almost feels like this is like a testing facility where they're experimenting on Mater, like some of their new rocket tech. You see here, Lightning McQueen's behind him. It looks like they were racing, but now Mater's winning with this rocket tech. And if you look, Lightning looks a little sad, which almost brings back to the beginning of the trailer where Lightning seemed excited to race and it was like, a fair race. But now that Mater's just like, easily winning everyone, that may discourage Lightning and, make him realize, what if I'm not a good racer? What if I'm not the fastest? Does Mater really want to race with me anymore? That might be some good character conflict there. And now I see there's a sonic boom right there, and it explodes, and it affects these engineers. I'm assuming these are the engineers who made the rocket, and they, hired Mater to test it for them. Oh, and if you see here, right there, actually, it presents a problem. You see the rocket explodes on Mater. All the pieces fall off. This might be, like, Mater might die in this scene. Like, we don't know if there's any Cars media coming after this. This might be where Mater dies, and if so, like, that'd be a very dark direction to take the franchise, but, I respect it. Again, no spoilers. Maybe he doesn't die here, maybe he does. Obviously, they don't show him crashing into the ground, so who knows? Perhaps Mater, like, explodes when he hits the ground. We'll just have to see.
That's what makes...
Oh, and then here's more of the dinosaur car in this, this dino world. Again, here's Lightning McQueen and Mater. It looks like they're more like... So I guess might be how they look in the prehistoric era. They're like disguising themselves to fit in, but obviously it's not working as the dinosaurs chasing them. Now that I look at this is CGI, I'm pretty sure, but it looks very similar to how they looked in that initial shot where I thought it might have been a different animation style. I need to go back and check this actually, because now I'm curious. I might have been wrong. Perhaps this is CGI and they just like got rid of textures in the models. Maybe this is just like a prehistoric animation style and not a different animation like media. Like this might not be claymation or like stop motion or something. That might just be a different CGI render style. And if so, I'm cool with that too, but I would love to see some stop motion in a Cars movie as well. Or a Cars show. I don't care. Anything. Let's go back to where we were.
Bumps along the road.
Okay, also, I never really noticed, Mater has some narration here that I totally skipped over. Let's listen to what he has to say.
This is not what I expected.
Alright, there, Lightning making a little bit of a joke, like, oh, I didn't expect this on our road trip, but, like, they were going out to have a fun time, but, he doesn't always expect all the danger. Earlier in it, Lightning confirmed that he knows that their trips are dangerous, but he can never predict what kind of danger they're going to get into.
Whoa! All the bumps along the road.
All right, all the bumps along the road as he, that's very funny timing as he literally bumps into this metal piece and flies in the sky. All the bumps on the road. It's good timing. This trailer's not all bad. Obviously, they made some weird editing choices, but some of their editing choices are very good.
That's what makes life worth living.
All right, that's what makes life worth living. This reminds me of, Mater in Cars 2, where he talked about, his dents, where he's like saying he values the dents because that means he made a special memory. It reminds me of that. Like, that's Mater's philosophy in life. No matter what comes at you, that's what makes your life cool and special and unique. It's Mater's philosophy summed up in one sentence. And again, this is good character consistency. I'm glad that they remember Mater's character and that they're, making sure it's on the forefront.
That's what makes life.
Now, I skipped over this. Here's more ghost cars. And they're coming out of paintings of themselves. Again, this confirms that ghosts exist in the Cars universe. And these are older car models, they are cars of time past, which does confirm cars do die in this universe, which I guess they already confirmed through Doc Hudson, unfortunately. But yeah, no, car ghosts too. This looks like the same mansion from the last shot we saw. So I'm guessing there's gonna be a horror episode where Lightning McQueen and Mater must escape a haunted mansion, which that'll be cool to see in a spooky Cars episode.
Worth living.
Oh, and here's something. Looks like Lightning McQueen is dancing with a ghost car, or at least getting spun around. It seems to be against his will. I don't think he actually wants to be dancing, but how does this work? They're holding tires. Do you see this? I guess the ghost must have some sort of telepathic ability, because holding tires, and in case you didn't know, that doesn't actually work. You can't actually just... If two tires touch each other, it's not like holding hands where they grab each other. They just kind of rub on each other. So I'm guessing the ghost is using some sort of telepathic power to, lift up Lightning into the air. Oh, but let's continue on. Here's a shot of them, laughing like they're very happy. They're enjoying this road trip they've got together. They're having fun. Mater's spinning around his cable, which is ironic because Larry, the cable guy, is the guy who voices him, and Mater has a cable. It's a very funny inside joke. Okay, here's an interesting shot here. This is the monster truck from earlier, but she's at the circus performing a stunt. So that makes me wonder if the monster truck episode and the circus episode are the same episode. Because look, she's cleaned up here. This is after she gets gets all the moss washed off of her. So perhaps that's the same episode, and so they start the episode by meeting the monster truck and they end it by going to the circus. That could be interesting. I'm excited to see how the monster truck fits into this. Perhaps the monster truck is looking for a place in the world and she decides to join the circus, kind of a la Madagascar 3. Perhaps that's what they're going for, and if so, that'd be great to see. I'm just intrigued by this. Oh, here's a shot of Mater's eyeball, zooming into him, and his eye kind of dilates here, as if he's either seen something horrific or he's mad. I don't know for sure, but whatever it is, Mater's getting serious now, and if something makes Mater serious, that means it's probably very serious. Again, they're not showing us what Mater's reacting to because it's probably a heavy spoiler, but perhaps this is the dark turn in the series where something finally snaps within Mater due to some horrific event that's happened in front of him. I don't know for sure, but obviously some people are hesitant for the Cars franchise to take a dark turn like this. I, for one, would welcome it. After, Cars 2 kind of, made things a little darker with the whole spy aesthetic and, murdering cars. Literally, that movie has a death count. I would love to see him push it even further and see what kind of dark topics we can explore with these characters. I'll be interested to see what strikes Mater here. As you see here, it looks like Lightning McQueen and Mater, they either accidentally destroyed or they're running away from the destruction of what appears to be a car monument. It looks like Stonehenge with cars. I'll call it Carhenge. So something happened to it. I don't know if it's their fault or someone else's fault, but they're having to run away as it falls apart behind them. Just another road trip shenanigan, I guess. If you look here, Mater looks really scared. Lightning McQueen looks a little more determined. So perhaps Lightning's the one that did it with malintent, and Mater's concerned for his friend. Why? Lightning McQueen, why did you destroy a national monument? Perhaps that's some conflict. Perhaps Lightning gets really mad and just decides to destroy everything on the trip. I don't know. We'll have to figure out and see. I'm just spitballing here. Oh, what's this? So here's another shot with a monster truck, but I do not know for sure if this is the same one because it's all grayed out and Lightning looks scared as he runs away, and he's also got headlights on now. So I'm not sure what this is from. Perhaps this is her when she's covered up in all that moss and they don't recognize her. Perhaps she looks scary at first. Or maybe this is just a different monster truck. I'll be curious to see. Perhaps the blue monster truck is from like a race of monster trucks that like haunt the forest, but she doesn't want to haunt the forest anymore. So she goes and joins the circus to fulfill her true life purpose. That might be what's going on here. I'll be very interested to see. Because monster trucks, they've been in a few things. I know there were some in Cars 3, I'm pretty sure, like the Dirt Derby. But maybe they're going to add some new lore to the monster trucks. Like, how do they exist within the Cars universe? Are they are they considered powerful beings, or are they discriminated against? I'll be very interested to see here. Explain why Lightning is running away from one of them. Okay, here's another shot. Obviously, this is the exact same scene where, if you saw earlier, Mater exploded from the rocket, the rocket fell apart on him. This is another close-up of that shot. Mater making a very funny face. He's screaming. Everyone loves it when Mater screams. That's comedy gold. You can't go wrong with a classic Mater scream. Okay, and here's another apocalypse shot. And that's a really cool long shot there. If you saw, there was a ton of stuff in that shot. A very cool long take, I guess. So let's look at this again. Kind of go frame by frame. So here it looks like there's total chaos. If you see, everyone around them is falling over and explosions, total chaos. Whatever's happened, there's some sort of fight. And look in the back there. There's one of the solar panel cars. So I wonder if they're in the middle of the fight and they're just trying to survive, because it looks like everyone's just falling apart here. This is crazy. They're either trying to escape or they're in the middle of the war. I do not know for sure, but there's some sort of conflict between the Mad Max group and the solar panel group. And again, whatever kind of social commentary they're going for, I will be very excited to see. And there's Mater reaffirming that he's got him, buddy. They're best friends forever. Even in the apocalypse, they are there for each other. That's how deep their bond goes. Again, it's a very cool shot. It looks like almost everyone's chasing after them. I wonder if they make both parties mad, and now they've all agreed to chase after them because they hate Lightning and Mater so much. That'd be an interesting angle. And here's the logo, Cars on the Road. It's a Disney Plus Day premiere, September 8th. So mark your calendars, September 8th. I know I'll be marketing every single one of my calendars. In fact, I'll be going to my friends' houses and marking their calendars as well to make sure they do not forget that this show is premiering. Because again, this is going to be the best show on Disney Plus, possibly the greatest show ever made. We'll have to see for sure. But again, this is the reason to get a Disney Plus subscription. If you don't have one yet, wait until September 8th and then get it so you can watch this show. If you already have one, I don't know, unsubscribe because there's nothing good on there right now, and then resubscribe when this show comes out because this is worth watching. Okay, and here we have a little ending zing. You know how most trailers end with a joke. We have another little joke here, but there is some actual context. We are at the Cretaceous Gardens. I'm going to say Cretaceous. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that. If you look right there, there is the dinosaur, or at least one of the dinosaurs that they run into later. So I wonder if this is... this doesn't look like the same location where they meet the dinosaur earlier in the trailer. Let me see. Let me go back to one of those dino shots from earlier in the trailer. If I can find one. 1 second. Hang on. Let me just go back to the first one.
Road trip.
Where's the dinosaur? Okay, right here. This is a desert. This looks very prehistoric, but if you look at this shot right here at the end, this looks like the same road that they've been on. So I wonder if they go back in time or something at this location, or maybe they get knocked out and have a dream sequence, but they remember the big dinosaur. This is definitely the catalyst for that happening, but this does not appear to be the same location. And upon further inspection, that the shot back there, let me see, it's just called the Visitor Center. The Visitor Center of this place looks very similar to the place where this scene takes place.
Oh, dear mother.
Okay, this place right here. I think this might be the same location. I think this place right here that they're at is the visitor center. And if you look in the background, oh, I just noticed this. That volcano right there, you see in the background in the desert, that's actually the same location from earlier. If you go back to this shot. Let me see if I can explain this properly. So you see this shot right here. You see this volcano right here. Now let's go back to the ghost shot. That's it. That is the same volcano. That makes me think that this might be some sort of dream sequence or time travel thing, or maybe they get sucked into the painting and then they have to deal with the dinosaur there. Because all the pieces of the dinosaur sequence have been laid out, but this, it's different. So they obviously go here on the road trip, but then something must happen to get them sucked into that painting, and then they meet a real dinosaur, because this is obviously a model. Something has to happen to get them back to the prehistoric times. I don't know what for sure yet. Maybe if I go through this trailer more, I'd be able to figure out, but from my analysis, I cannot think of anything. If I do think of something, I will leave a 12-paragraph pinned comment in the comments below and explain my theory in a very detailed detail. Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on. Look, you picked the last.
Okay, there was some dialogue here. I think I missed the beginning of that.
I love these.
Okay, so Lightning says he loves this.
No.
Come on.
Okay, Mater's like, I don't know. I guess maybe Mater has a fear of dinosaurs. Perhaps it's something he'll have to overcome throughout the course of the show. Fear of dinosaurs, dinosaur phobia. That's a very common thing among, I guess, trucks. And so, him learning to overcome it, that'd be a very sweet message to send.
Look, you picked the last stop.
Okay, it looks like there's a little bit of an argument here. Maybe some tension arising. Lightning's like, hey, I want to pick a stop. Maybe Lightning just is fascinated with dinosaurs. Perhaps, he learned some of his tricks by watching dinosaurs racing back in the olden times. So there's a little bit of conflict here, but obviously they'll resolve it eventually because they're friends.
World's largest tire maze.
McQueen!
Mater.
You see, this is a fun little ending joke. He's saying that, you picked the tire maze. And there's a little joke here, like they're lost in the maze. It's very good. It's a cute little zinger to end things with. And also, I will say, if this is the world's largest tire maze, they need to work on building a bigger one. Because, this is impressive, but this isn't that big. You could definitely make a larger tire maze if you wanted to. But it is rather humorous that even though it's not that large of a maze, they still get lost. They're calling out for each other, but they have no idea where they are. It's funny. It's good Cars comedy. I'm glad that even though it's pretty obvious they're going to be going into a darker story direction, trying to tell a more mature and, social commentary kind of story, they're still making sure to keep it lighthearted, make sure there's some comedy in there so it's not total, darkness and despair.
McQueen!
Parents, stream it on Disney Plus.
And, there's the Disney Plus logo, and then the narrator saying parents stream it on Disney Plus, because, obviously there's a lot of mature adult fans within the community, but we have to make sure to acknowledge that there are younger viewers of these kind of productions. Cars appeals to all audiences, and we should not be gatekeeping these children from watching this. If anything, we should be encouraging them to, because this would be a great starting point for the Cars franchise. And then once they watch this show and realize how good it is, they can go watch the rest of the Cars media. Then they'll grow up and become a part of the community, and then the legacy of these films and shows and short films and whatever will continue to go on for generations to come. So it's a good thing that they are encouraging kids to watch this. This is good. We want to make sure the legacy of Lightning McQueen, Tow Mater, and all the other characters continues on beyond our lifetimes. And, with that, we're back at the beginning of the trailer. So that's it. We did it. We did a frame-by-frame analysis of the Cars on the Road trailer. And hopefully by this, I've presented to you how much there is packed within this trailer and how you should be excited for this, because they're really evolving the Cars lore here. They're showing us a ton of things that we've never seen in this universe before. And I, for one, am excited for this. This is going to save Disney Plus. This is going to save Disney as a company. This is going to be the best show on Disney Plus, like I've said before. This is going to rejuvenate the Cars franchise, give it some fresh life, because it's been 5 years since Cars 3 came out. It's really good. We always need some new Cars media every now and again to keep the car community alive. So it's very good the show exists. I'm very excited for it. I've told you a bunch of my theories. Make sure to post your theories in the comments below so we can interact. Make sure that everything you say is at least a 3-paragraph essay minimum, because as a Cars fan, you got to make sure to express your opinions very eloquently and and with lots of detail. So with that, I believe that is all I have to say. Make sure to go watch Cars on the Road on September 8th, because that's the big event. That's what we're all waiting for. And join me tomorrow as I release 3 one-hour videos about cars, as I always do every single day. I always make Cars videos. That's totally the thing I do. This is totally not a one-off thing that I decided to do as a joke because I thought it would be funny. This is totally legit. This is the #1 Lightning McQueen fan club,